blame me. Everyone assembled here this morning, greetings. Will you please pause with me for a moment of prayer? O living light, we gather to honor and give thanks for your gift of illumination, the light of the mind, the integration of heaven and earth. Your illumination is both our source and our destiny, the reason we came here, the reason we stayed, the reason we are now empowered to go forth and serve boldly. Your living light allows us to achieve an uplifted mode of being, to attain a higher education. Girded, nurtured, and freed by your light, we are called to return to this living light on our life's journey. For we have come to know that your light has power to cast out the darkness of mental murkiness, to crack open the closed, arrogant mind. We give you thanks as the presence of your illumination offers us a sense of the sacred. It is the spiritual laser that cuts through the bars that block liberation. It is the spark which can ignite the flame of love and let it loose in the world. Such a torch borne by the human heart, by everyone who loves, or even believes that there is such a thing as love, casts a light in whose presence the darkness of the world cannot continue to exist. O living, loving light, brighten our purpose, light our path, inflame our desire to do what is right and good, and emblaze in us the words celebrated by our college motto, Lux in Tenebris, light in darkness. Amen. Please be seated.
Good morning. Good to see you all. In your program, I'm identified as a vice chairman. I'm subbing today for the chairman, whose job this normally is. He is out of the country, Martin McCarrow, so he couldn't join us today, and I'm taking his place as best possible. First of all, I'd like to ask you a question. Is this just the right amount of sun for this day? Then I have a second question. How does the campus look? Doesn't it look wonderful? Well, my part in today's ceremonies is to welcome the graduates who are technically still candidates until they are awarded that all-important parchment, in this case known as a diploma, they have worked so hard to achieve. I welcome also our honorary degree candidates, faculty and staff who make it all happen, also alumni among us, importantly, parents and other family members. Glad to see you all. This is the day of days that is so important for all graduate candidates who have attained a leap forward and are now contemplating what's ahead of them and what does the future hold. Thank you.
Good morning, Bloomfield College class of 2006. My name's Rich Fry, and I'm honored to be standing here today as your class speaker. Today brings us to the end of our long and often arduous journey, a day when we will be rewarded for the fruits of our labor when we re-enter the world as college graduates. As we move forward, we will look back and think warmly of the time we have spent here at Bloomfield College, recalling our successes and the vigor with which we have pursued our goals and academic desires. These experiences that we take with us shall stand as a foundation upon which we will build a more robust life and will serve as our guiding principles in our continuing pursuit of personal excellence. While today concludes this chapter of our life's story, it is not our destination. For our time spent here will have been for naught if we fail to leverage this hard-earned honor to drive our continued growth. Today we cast off on a new journey, one that compels us to challenge our abilities to better serve ourselves and the needs of the world in which we live. This next stage of our voyage fills us with new hope and expectations for a more satisfying tomorrow, knowing that we have each filled our personal toolbox with the knowledge and competencies that will best ensure our success. I challenge each of you to assume accountability for your own continued growth and to seek out opportunities where you can make a difference in society. Follow your hearts and your dreams to find your destiny and the success that will define your life. We came to Bloomfield College from disparate backgrounds, each with our own distinctive desires and goals that have driven us to fulfill our quest for a higher education. I came seeking to fulfill an often avoided, almost forgotten aspiration. My journey began over 20 years ago when I first began my college career, a journey that digressed as I rose to meet other of life's challenges. I've attained personal and professional success, but I had buried my goal of completing college somewhere in my travels. Occasionally, I would dust it off, but most often I kept it safely tucked away with lost ambitions, covered by a host of reasons why I couldn't achieve this goal. I've been blessed with two children, Alex and Johnny. They are my pride, they are my joy, and they became my incentive to finally complete what I had sought to earn so long ago. I have taught them to work hard and stay the course. I encourage them to always do their best and to seek their full potential. It was my own hypocrisy of these virtues that I preached to my own children that compelled me to finally return to school. For how could I lead them to greatness if I had forsaken it myself? While the completion of my degree remained an underlying goal, it became secondary to my desire to be a beacon of hope and fortitude for my boys as I set out to establish a new paradigm of success for them to follow. Don't allow excuses to become an obstacle to your continued success. Believe in your ability to achieve. We will all be challenged with tough decisions as we travel through life. Stand firm in the face of adversity. Remember, your success will be defined not just by what you gain, but also by how you gain it and the mark you leave on your world. Do every task to the best of your ability, no matter how trivial it may seem. Always choose the difficult right over the easy wrong. I offer these basic tenets to serve as your moral compass as you venture forward. Success is not an autonomous event. I would like to thank my supporters whose encouragement has allowed me to exceed my goals. Dr. Pally and Dr. Michaelitis, I thank you for helping me to recognize and reconnect with my own true potential. Mom and Dad, thank you for your patience as I found my way along this path of my life's journey and your faith that I would someday arrive at my own celebration. Pop, thank you for your tireless effort in helping to man the home front while I chased down this goal. Jean, my wife, my best friend, thank you for your steadfast confidence in me and your unshakable belief in my ability to achieve. And finally, Alex and Johnny, you guys were my inspiration. I love you, and I dedicate this accomplishment to you. Our Bloomfield College experience has prepared us to better compete and collaborate in the diverse society in which we now exist. I encourage each of you to leverage your new knowledge and skills to open doors and create opportunities, for these assets are your key to reaping your own personal harvest of greatness. Class of 2006, I salute you and I wish you luck. Pursue life to your full potential. Pursue life to your full potential, and may you each find the success you seek. Thank you. At this time during the ceremony, I would like to invite our freshman class speaker, Crystal Nicole Phillips to join me on stage. As a speaker for the class of 2006, I am passing on to you, the freshman class, the book of knowledge which has guided us through our years at Bloomfield College. May this honor inspire you to strive for your best as scholars, as future leaders, and as active members of your community. Having completed a successful first year, we welcome you to this academic community and wish you well in all your pursuits.
As the freshman class president, I, Crystal Nicole Phillips, hereby accept this book of knowledge as a testament of dedication to the pursuit of academic excellence. On behalf of the freshman class, we would like to wish the graduating class the best of luck, the best of health, and the best of life. Continue to learn and grow as you will develop to reach your full potential. As a class, you have helped set the foundation for who we will follow you. For that privilege, we honor you today. Thank you.
Good luck.
Mr. President, it is my honor to present Jeffrey Holder for the degree of Doctor of Fine Arts, honoris causa.
They're looking for someone did not put the citations in.
It's all right.
Yeah.
Should I speak now?
If you could wait just a minute.
I can.
Dr. Jeffrey Holder, one of the most distinguished choreographers, dancers, musicians, artists of the 20th century, is a man whose voice is well known to almost everybody in this room. One of the truly beautiful musicians and members of our new Bloomfield College expanded community. I'm delighted to present to you the degree honoris causa, Bloomfield College, 2006.
Thank you. This is very special. Very special. You do not. One, two. 1, 2, 3. Okay. I would be as brief as I can. This means so much to me because when I was young, I was a dunce. Number one, I still am dyslexic. And there's nothing to laugh at because there are a lot of dyslexic kids out there. And they grow up and they cannot read, not because they're not bright. We see numbers change in front of our eyes. And we say, oh, that person's a dunce. You have to have a lot of patience But God works in very strange ways. When he takes away one thing, he gives you back something else. There's always a sense of balance. You young, wonderful students, you're going to be parents one day, okay? Good for you. And all of the wonderful parents outside, listen to your children because they know what they want. And what they want is not a cell phone. What they want you to push them in the right direction, and they're going to drive you crazy. But they will want to go to the museum, take them. They may want to draw, let them. They may want to play an instrument, it's very healthy. If you want to become a doctor, a surgeon, to weave somebody's body back in place, let that child learn to play the piano. La 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 la. The most wonderful exercise for the fingers, so he can weave your body together again. You know, God bless that little man in the cave who saw an antelope. And he took a stone and he carved it in the cave, what it looked like. Without that man, and this man is before Christ, without that man, we wouldn't know where we came from. Very, very important. That man is an artist. Better than Disney, go to the museum. Let the museum be the playground for children. I have a son. That incredible lady, Carmen Lavalade, gave me, my muse. When she was traveling all over the world with the De Lavalade Ailey Company and performing, I had to babysit. I enjoyed it. Because if I had a business meeting, I took my son with me. And he was like 6 years old. And he saw Daddy conducting business. But the business was held in the museum, the Metropolitan Museum, in their restaurant. So we're eating, we're talking, and he sat there. Seeing Daddy become a businessman. And then when he is tired, would he excuse me, he said, where are you going? He would wander into the museum because he liked Frankenstein and Dracula and the Mummy. He would go to look at this dead man who died centuries ago in the Egyptian section. This is not Lon Chaney, this is the real mummy. But there he learned about Egypt. He learned history. Let your children go to the museum, let them express themselves in more ways than one. I can talk till the cows come home. But before I start, I would like, all right, I would like all of the students to stand up, all of the, now, hold it, turn around and face your parents and applaud your parents. Thank you. Thank you. Sit down, sit down. I would like all of the parents to stand up. All the parents stand up. Parents, do me a favor. I would like all of you to say, bravo. Now the children stand up again. And tell your professors, thank you. I love you.
Mr. President, it is my honor to present Carmen de Lavallade for the degree of Doctor of Fine Arts, honoris causa.
Carmen de Lavallade, you have been lauded for over 40 years as one of dance's finest interpreters. Your work as a performer has no limitations, and your projects have broken new grounds in the world of dance and theater. Not only have you succeeded in the performance realm as a dancer, but you have also established yourself as a well-known actress and choreographer. Your career includes acting credits from Shakespeare to Lorca and dance assignments from Alvin Ailey to the American Ballet Theatre. Born in Los Angeles, you always had a desire to become an actress, and you were influenced at a very young age by your cousin, Janet Collins, who was the first black ballerina at the Metropolitan Opera. At 16, you won a scholarship to study with Lester Horton, a pioneer of modern dance, where you became a member of his company and eventually one of his principal teachers. You made your dancing debut at the Metropolitan Opera and danced the lead in the American Ballet Theatre production, The Four Marys. You have toured the Far East with the de Lavallade Ailey Dance Company, and you were named principal dancer for John Butler's dance company in the Festival of Two Worlds. Through the years, you have danced many principal roles, appearing in the movies including Carmen Jones, choreographed by Herbert Ross, and Lydia Bale, where you danced a duet with Jack Cole. You were also selected to dance in the Broadway production House of Flowers, where you met your husband, Jeffrey Holder. And I think you've just seen what an amazing choreographer Jeffrey Holder is. In the years following, you expanded your art form of dance into acting, singing, and choreography. You became a member of the Yale Repertory Theater after teaching movement at Yale University to actors such as Henry Winkler, Sigourney Weaver, and Meryl Streep. As an actor, some of your major roles included performances in Story Theater, Don Juan, Julius Caesar, Macbeth, A Midsummer Night's Dream, Othello, and Death of a Salesman. Most frequently, you would perform your one-woman show, Journey, and your children's show, The Enchanted Isle of You. Throughout your lifetime, you have been honored with numerous awards, including Dance Magazine Award for your performance in the Far East, the Clarence Bayfield Award presented by the Actors Equity for Outstanding Classical Performance Off-Broadway, and the 6th Annual Women of Strength and Courage Award from American Legacy Magazine. You received an honorary degree of Fine Arts from the Boston Conservatory of Music and a Doctor of Fine Arts from Adelphi University, where you held the position of Director of Dance for 3 years. In continuing the tradition of influencing others, you now teach at the Juilliard School, where you mentor young dancers. For the dedication you set forth in your endeavors, and for your commitment to sharing what you have learned with today's youth through education, Bloomfield College is proud to confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Fine Arts, honoris causa, with all the rights, duties, and responsibilities. Congratulations.
President Laveau, honored guests, faculty, staff, parents, and above all, graduates. I would like to begin with a quote by Pablo Picasso. God is really only another artist. He invented the giraffe, the elephant, and the cat. He has no real style. He just keeps on trying things. Now, since we are supposedly made in God's image, my advice to you young people is like our Creator, keep on trying things. Now, you all are so fortunate to be living in a time when artistic barriers, and I'm talking not just artistic people, I'm talking about everyone, no matter what profession, because as we are made in God's image, we were all creators and artistic people. When you're living in, barriers can be crossed with much less criticism. And unlike my early career, it was frowned upon when you yourself wanted to create with more than one discipline. Today, dance, music, theater, poetry, art and design, film, photography, and now the international art world, and that includes other professions, do not seem to distrust each other as much. Each discipline can keep its purity, yet it is willing to combine forces to create a lively dialogue of new ideas and works. And regardless of your profession, you have much to look forward to and so much to try. But therein lies the rub. And now your palette as a creator is immense. It is a Walmart of ideas. So my advice is to learn as much as you can of other disciplines. Take your iPods out of your ears, turn off your computers and cell phones, go to the museums, concerts, lectures, books, thrash out your ideas, observe. Yes. Observe life in all forms. Hug a tree. You never know what can inspire you. Ideas come from observing and experiencing life. My father once said to me, as he pointed out a falling leaf, "Carmen, observe." And then he asked, "Why does it fall and turn like the blades of a helicopter?" Then he showed me God's extraordinary design of the delicate object. My father brought to my attention a simple falling leaf and turned it into something magical to put into my creative bank. Earth is God's playground. Have fun as long as you're not destructive. Pick your choices carefully and use them wisely. It is a great power and an awesome responsibility. And like a scientist, you must be careful how you handle volatile material and treat it with great respect. Otherwise, it can backfire. And like an insidious living entity, take control of your life and you lose your perspective. The great Chief Seattle said, "This we know, all things are connected like the blood which unites one family. All things are connected. What befalls the earth befalls the sons of the earth. Man did not weave the web of life. He is merely a strand in it. Whatever he does to the web, he does to himself." We all come from thousands of years of a great tradition of potent and powerful voices telling the history of man in all forms of imagery. Without the artist, that means everyone. How would we know where we came from? The arts are not an indulgence, a pastime, or an elitist playground. It is a primary need of man to survive the travails of life. You are all part of a great creative profession that speaks to all races of man, bringing joy and light into the lives of ordinary people who need a bright vision to pick up their spirits. In our wild and wonderful inventive minds, we pass on to generation after generation in the next millenniums our history, which will keep evolving into what I do not know, but I know it will be beautiful. So go forth and find your voice, for who knows, someone here may change history. Now, as a fellow creative artist, I would like to leave you with another quote to ponder. I love that word ponder. It doesn't mean to think about, it means to stop and think about. The most beautiful emotion we can experience is the mystical. It is the power of all true art and science. Albert Einstein. Thank you.
Mr. President, it is my honor to present Richard S. Pector for the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa.
Richard S. Pector, we honor you today for your achievements as a financial expert and for your unending contributions and support of public education. You inspired us with a decision to explore a new career path after 31 years, shifting your interests from the finance industry to focus on your passion, public education. While working at Donaldson, Lufkin & Jenrette, a leading Wall Street investment firm, you oversaw more than 12,000 employees and $10 billion in revenue. You held many positions, including Chief Financial Officer, Chief Administrative Officer, Chief Executive Officer of the Pershing Division, member of the Board of Directors, and Chairman of the Financial Services Group and DLJ Direct. In 2000, you decided to step down from the top position at your firm and leave the lucrative industry of finance, opting to focus your attention on an area in which you had been a longtime supporter, public education, and specifically, Teach for America, a program which has placed over 5,000 recent college graduates in urban and rural schools. You taught algebra as a full-time faculty member of Liberty High School in Jersey City. Any graduates? An inner-city public school that serves as an alternate school for students who struggle in traditional classrooms. Presently, you teach freshman students at Hudson County Community College, also located in Jersey City, where you are an adjunct in the math department. You received a Bachelor of Science degree in mathematics from Yale University and continued on to obtain a Master of Business Administration degree from the Harvard Business School. As a prominent figure in the financial industry and a distinguished public educator, you have served as a director on numerous corporate boards, industry associations, charitable organizations, and governing boards, including Teach for America, Recruiting New Teachers, and Kids Corporation. In addition to your work and your achievements in the financial industry and public education sector, you also co-produced the Broadway show Titanic, for which you won a Tony Award in 1997. For the passion you demonstrate for public education and your enduring contribution to public good, Bloomfield College is proud to confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa, with all the rights, duties, and privileges appertaining thereunto. Congratulations.
Well, to all 277 of you, the class of 2006, my congratulations. And I really want to thank you for allowing me to share this day with you. Each of you worked very hard for at least the last 4 years to earn your degree. And I only have 3 minutes to earn mine. So let me use those 3 minutes to focus on what I learned from one of you, Crystal Goodwin. Let me tell you a little bit about Crystal. She's a junior here at Bloomfield, and she was my student 7 years ago when I was her 9th grade algebra teacher at Liberty High School in Jersey City. One very cold, icy winter day, Crystal noticed during class that I looked upset and concerned and distracted. When class ended, she came up to me and she sort of asked me, "Mr. P, what was wrong? What's wrong?" Well, amid the confusion of just dozens of kids shifting classes, you know how that all is in a high school, I told her that I was just concerned about one of my own children who was going through some tough times at home. Crystal looked me straight in the eye. Actually, if any of you know Crystal, she's a basketball player. She actually looked down at me, not straight in the eye. And she said to me, "Just give her a hug." 5 little words, just give her a hug. And then Crystal smiled and she hurried off to her next class. Now, why I'm telling you this story is because those 5 little words from Crystal made a real difference in my life. I followed her advice, and it was exactly the right thing to do. Crystal really helped me. Think about it. It didn't matter that she was 14 years old and I was 55, that she was a student and I was a teacher, that she could rap and I still thought iced tea was a Snapple drink. Yet I learned more from her in those 2 minutes than she probably learned from me in a year's worth of math classes. Now, the point of all this is that Crystal really made a difference in my life. And you, each of you 277 graduates, can make a difference. You can make a difference. In ways you might not imagine, in situations you might not expect, like in the hall room of a high school, whether it's with your friends, your family, your fellow workers, or even strangers, you can make a difference in other people's lives. You can make a difference in our community. You can make a difference in our nation. Crystal counted. Each of you counts. And don't forget, give everyone a hug. Again, my thanks.
Mr. President, it is my honor to present Marilyn M. Faltz for the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa.
This will be your degree. Marilyn M. Faltz, we honor you today for your dedicated service as Trustee Emerita of the Scholarship Fund for Inner City Children and for your achievements as a founding partner of P&R Associates, a firm specializing in communication and public relations. As Trustee Emerita of the Scholarship Fund for Inner City Children, you are a committed partner in social responsibility. You play a pivotal role in helping young children receive a proper education by providing scholarships to those in financial need, those who attend private and parochial schools. Working with others, you continue to support and live up to the program's mission to provide disadvantaged youngsters with sound, values-based education in a safe environment. The success of your program last year speaks for itself. 97% of the Scholarship Fund's June graduates went on to higher education. As founding partner of P&R Associates since 1970, you coordinate project work involving publicity and creative design. The longevity and success of your company demonstrates that you have an ability to communicate marketing and public relations strategies to a variety of businesses. You are a true communication specialist who can balance professionalism in the workplace and social responsibility in your community. You hold a Bachelor of Arts degree from Bryn Mawr College in Pennsylvania and have co-authored several books, including a photographic essay, Ocean Grove, and How to Move Your Family Successfully. A longtime resident of Summit, you have been active in many community and nonprofit agencies. You are a director of the Beacon Trust Company and co-chair of the Greater Newark Conservancy Capital Campaign. You have served as a trustee on several boards, including the Community Foundation of New Jersey, Stevens Institute of Technology, and the New Jersey American Automobile Club, and also as a director of the Public Service Enterprise Group and chair of the National Board of the American Automobile Association. For the example you set through your unswerving commitment to the ideals of business, education, and to the public good, Bloomfield College is proud to confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa, with all the rights, duties, and responsibilities appertaining thereto. Thank you very much. Congratulations.
This is a wonderful and special moment on my life's journey. And I'm just going to take a few moments to kind of go through that journey with you. There are 3 words which have been influential in my life: passion, persistence, and pride. 63 years ago, I was given an assignment to write a short autobiography. I was in 6th grade. I still have the copy. I wrote this piece entitled "The Start of My Career." Pretty big ideas for a 10-year-old girl in 1943. I wanted to be a writer, especially a foreign news correspondent, a star in the future for me, I wrote. I also wrote, "There are very few women reporters, and I'll have to prove my worth. This is one of the many obstacles in my path, but through determination, I will conquer them." I was 10. My real passion was to have my name in lights, as it were, on the printed page. I took many stabs at writing over the years, through high school, college, marriage, work, 3 children. Somehow there were always things which interfered, and I never followed through on my writings, but I never lost the dream. I found a co-author friend, and with the discipline of someone expecting me to finish what I began, procrastination dropped away and persistence kicked in. In 1970, my first book was published. My co-author and I had submitted the manuscript to 12 publishers before the 13th submission to Charles Scribner's was successful. There's a great deal of truth in the oft-quoted lines by Thomas Edison. Success is 1 part inspiration and 3 parts perspiration, i.e. persistence. If you imagine that passion is the ignition and persistence is the gas, surely pride is the driver. Trying to do the best job in whatever you are working at gives a tremendous boost of pride at the finish line. Holding one of my books and looking through the chapters, I'm forever glad we did all those rewrites, long and painful as they may have been, and I'm really proud of those books. Photography slowly edged into my working life. Originally, the photos were to illustrate a book, which my co-author and I were writing for publication in 1980. As I pursued courses and classes in photography, established my own darkroom, worked for a newspaper, photography became all important. I persisted on learning the unfamiliar technical stuff so necessary. I spent hours reading and rereading the how-to manuals. Over the years and much practice, I have developed a special rapport in photographing people. But here's the best of all. The touch of grace in my life has been the ability to make a difference doing what I loved to do. Throughout the years, I volunteered in many places doing many things, but I truly found my niche serving as a trustee of the Scholarship Fund for Inner City Children in the Archdiocese of Newark. Though I am not a Catholic myself, for 18 years I have photographed the wonderfully bright, disciplined, dedicated students who attend those inner city Catholic schools. My photographs revealed to all who saw them the promise of these young people. These photos have been used in all the fundraising materials to help raise the money for the scholarships. I love doing this work. Because of my Newark photographs and the skill and confidence I earned doing them, I've gone on to many far-flung cities of the world, photographing for non-governmental organizations who raise monies for the poorest of the poor. My photographs of the faces of people from Newark to Haiti to Bangladesh to Romania and beyond are a testament to the interconnected web of human existence. These photographs truly make a difference. I love doing this work. Checking back with my autobiography, what I have done is not far from my 10-year-old imagination. Sometimes I have to pinch myself. Passion has never left me. Persistence is still my middle name, and I am continually proud and excited to look through my photographic portfolio from around the world. Amazing grace indeed. I find these words very challenging and inspiring, and I leave them to you. Touch the earth, reach the sky. All are born and all shall die. Life's the time left in between to follow a star, to build a dream. Touch the earth, reach the sky, hug the laughter, feel the cry. May we see where we can give, for this is what it means to live. Thank you.
Mr. President, it is my honor to present Rick Uford Chase for the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa.
Rick Uford Chase, we honor you today for your dedicated service to the public good, providing dynamic youthful leadership to the Presbyterian Church USA as moderator of the 216th General Assembly of the Church, and as co-founder and co-director of Borderlinks, a bi-national organization that provides experiential education on issues such as trade and globalization and the concerns of migrants on the border. You inspire us with your devotion to mankind and professionalism in building public awareness of national and international issues. You are fluent in Spanish and English and obtained a Bachelor of Arts degree in psychology from Colorado College in Colorado Springs. You worked on your Master of Divinity degree at Princeton Theological Seminary. That's a small school down the road a bit. Before leaving to join a volunteer mission in Nicaragua in 1986. As co-founder and co-director of Borderlinks, you have been working on the United States-Mexico border for more than 15 years and are sponsored in your work as a mission co-worker in the Worldwide Ministries Division of the Presbyterian Church, USA. In addition to your responsibilities as a mission co-worker, you are also a co-moderator of the Presbyterian Peace Fellowship, a founder of the Samaritans, an organization providing emergency assistance to migrants on the borderlands of southern Arizona, and a reservist as a nonviolent peacemaker in situations of conflict with Christian peacemaker teams. In 2003, you spent months in Guatemala with your wife and son, working for the Evangelical Center for Pastoral Studies in Central America, a mission partner of the Presbyterian Church USA. Through the years, you have dedicated a great portion of your life's work to improving the world. You have led many delegations, including a Witness for Peace delegation in Nicaragua, a Refugee Trail of Tears delegation in Guatemala, a multinational delegation on an immersion experience in a jointly sponsored Presbyterian Peace Fellowship Christian Peacemaker Team delegation to Israel and the West Bank. Most recently, you have coordinated numerous youth and senior ministries at Presbyterian churches all over the United States, including New York, Pennsylvania, Arizona, and Colorado. For the missionary example you set through your religious ideals and your enduring contribution to the public good, Bloomfield College is proud to confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa, with all the rights, privileges appertaining thereto. Congratulations.
Well, for you non-Presbyterians in the room, I should tell you that being the moderator of the Presbyterian Church USA is something akin to being temporary pope with no power. Last Saturday morning, I was given the opportunity to participate in the commencement of another Presbyterian-related college in a small town in the Midwest, where I must say the graduating class was considerably less rowdy than this one. And on Saturday morning, before I was to go and give the commencement speech, I was at the restaurant in the hotel where I was staying, and I heard a conversation take place in the booth immediately behind me between the server and the elderly couple that was sitting there. The server said, "In for a long day of speeches, I see." To which the response from the elderly gentleman was, "Yeah, can get a little windy." At which point his wife chimed in, "Yep, we went to one last week I thought would never end." A humbling conversation for a commencement speaker to overhear. My comments will be brief. For the last 18 years, I've been working on the U.S.-Mexico border with Central American refugees and with economic migrants who have fled their countries looking for a better way of life. people who have risked their lives crossing the U.S.-Mexico border through the desert lands of southern Arizona, the Sonoran Desert. Some 282 people that we know of lost their lives on that journey last year alone, only in the state of Arizona alone. My friends, the challenges that confront your generation are going to be greater than perhaps any recent generation this country has seen. The challenge is quite simple. We have been brought up to believe a lie, and the lie is this: that somehow by accident of birth or the good fortune of making our way into the inner circle of the most privileged nation on earth, it is reasonable for us to receive all of the benefits of the global economy while taking no responsibility for the global community. It's the worst kind of lie. And I have news for you. I am particularly honored to receive this particular honorary degree from this institution because it is my belief that among all of the 65 related Presbyterian universities and colleges across the country, this school is the one on the cutting edge of creating a generation of leadership that will know how to bridge borders around the world and build a multicultural and global community. So I have some questions for you, my friends who are graduating this morning. The first question is this: do you, the graduating class of Bloomfield College, commit yourselves, you who have been given so much, to be border crossers? If so, how about a yes, we do? And then if you do you commit yourselves to cross borders in pursuit of a genuine new global community that will be founded on principles of justice and equity and fairness and a possibility for a future for all of the world's children? If so, how about a round of applause? And will you commit with me to the task of being peacemakers, tearing down the walls and the boundaries of hatred that are being built up even as we sit here this morning all around the world? Will you use your degree in this marvelous multicultural institution for the good of creating a peaceful society? If so, how about a little Baptist amen? My sisters and brothers, we have work to do. So as soon as you're done your celebration this morning, as soon as this degree has been conferred upon you, I expect that you, like me, will go back to work. The task that we confront will be the greatest challenge of our generation. For the next 50 years, creating the global community is what it's going to be all about. And I'll finish this morning with the words from a wonderful poem written by Christopher Fry from a play called A Sleep of Prisoners. It goes something like this: the human heart can go the lengths of God. Dark and cold we may be, but this is no winter now. The frozen misery of centuries cracks and breaks and begins to move, and the thunder is the thunder of the flows, the thaw, the upstart spring. So thank God our time is now, when wrong comes up to meet us everywhere, never to leave us till we take the longest stride of soul we ever took. Affairs are now world-sized, and the enterprise is exploration into God. So what are you waiting for? It takes so many thousand years to wake. But will you wake for pity's sake? God bless you on this important journey that begins today.
It's my pleasant task to follow that speech. Not only is Bloomfield College extraordinarily diverse, you just heard from a group of remarkable, diverse, wonderful people. From the areas of religion and business and performing arts, just such a wonderful coming together of people here to honor you today as I do. I have great news for you. This is the last speech you will hear as a candidate for your degree. Within a few moments of my conclusion, you will all be Bachelors of Arts and Sciences, and congratulations. And so I offer welcome. Welcome first to the graduates of the Division of Business who studied business administration, accounting, economics, finance, management, and computer information systems. Welcome. And welcome to the graduates of the Division of Creative Arts and Technology. And thank you for your wonderful animation, your interactive media, and particularly the comic that somebody drew saying, "Hey, President of Bloomfield College, give me an A." Thank you for that. And welcome to you, graduates of the Division of Education. You will groom and train the next generation of Bloomfield College students and help the students of the future to become responsible citizens of the world. And welcome to you, graduates of the Division of Humanities, who have focused on literature, literature, writing, broadcasting, journalism, history, philosophy, and religion. And welcome to you, members of the Division of Natural Sciences and Mathematics. You who have studied so hard the allied health technologies, biology, chemistry, internet technology, mathematics, and others. And a special welcome to those from the Division of Nursing. More than any of the others, I'm going to need you. Those of you who reach out to the sick, comfort family members, and remind us that we are all part of a mission to alleviate pain and suffering from the world. And welcome to the Division of Social and Behavioral Sciences. You've studied public administration and public policy, psychology, criminal justice, political science, and sociology. I will never forget political science. No, I'll go on. Two books have caught my attention recently which seem to have very little to do with one another, and I will tell you one of the mind games that I play and that my twin brother plays, and since we're obviously very close, we look at things in pairs. And one of the things we do is we look at two books, two book reviews, two movies, two pieces of art, two dances, two things that may not seem to have very much in common, and try to find a common theme between them. What is it about it that reveals essential truth? So I wanted to pull out two books, one of which is very, very popular, and just very quickly try to reconcile what I think are two very different worldviews. One of the books is among the most popular published in the last 10 years that does not either include the words Harry Potter or Da Vinci Code. The book is Rick Warren's extremely successful call to the purpose-driven life. It is a book with some important points to be made, but one that is not without controversy. The main thesis of the book is that in order to live a meaningful and full life, we must be preoccupied not with the search for wealth, happiness, or even the meaning of life itself, but rather finding the purpose for which God made us. He argues that in order for life to be full, we must find that purpose and fulfill it, a purpose that can include many great works, but is directed from the will of God. Many of us in this age of rationalism and humanism would reject the notion that there could possibly be a plan for us, or that we are born into the world with a specific purpose that will govern our daily affairs. However, Dr. Warren's idea did resonate with me toward the notion that we do have a duty toward accomplishment, helping others, and making a positive contribution, something that I prefer to call not a purpose-driven life, but an integrated life, one that is a blessing to society and to our loved ones. While the standard language that we use is that we are called to a life's work, it is not clear where that calling comes from to those of us who have strong humanistic views. And that brings me to the second book. It is a book that I find quite fascinating. It doesn't offer any answers. It's really a study by a professor of psychology from Harvard named Daniel Gilbert. And the name of the book is Stumbling on Happiness. He is spending much of his professional career studying what Warren tells us should not be the focus of our life, that is, looking for happiness. What interests me about Professor Gilbert's work is his unique ability to focus on, and this is a big term, affective forecasting. He says we are the only species capable of imagining what might make us happy in the future. Not whether we're happy now, not whether we're disappointed now, but making plans to make us happy in the future. And the scholars in this area are all across the United States. There are behavioral economists at Harvard working on the same material, psychologists at Princeton, faculty at the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign. Indeed, there's even a new scholarly journal called the Journal of Happiness Studies. But contemplating the purpose-driven life and happiness studies, you'll say, well, that's pretty distinct between the two of them. One says, don't look for happiness, look for God's will. The other says, look for something that'll make you happy. But I think it is useful to think of them as complementary. How to merge the public good with private happiness so that social contribution is fulfilled, not out of a sense of duty, not due to reluctance, not due to a sense that, gee, if I don't, I'm going to be punished, but rather out of a sense of harmony, of satisfaction, and even personal happiness and pleasure. Put another way, can we imagine a life which is driven to a purpose and a cause not out of commandment, but rather because of an upwelling of commitment, compassion, understanding, and love? To me, a successfully educated person, someone who carries with him or her within the next 10 or 15 minutes the baccalaureate degree in higher education, is a person who pursues the integrated life. For me, that starts with respect for yourself, extends to love of family and close friends, and then dedication to the good, to the community good, to public service and activism. And it also includes a life of intellectual rigor, a life of pleasure and joy at discovering new things throughout life, love and pleasure in the aesthetics, in architecture, in dance and art. That is no problem, that is no sin, that is no deficit. Have a full, rich, loving life, and one that gives back to yourself, to your family, and to your community. More than that, I cannot wish for any person on this planet. Thank you.
Bloomfield College would like to honor 4 students who no longer are with us, but who would have graduated this year. At this time, we would like to ask the representatives from the families of Miss Elizabeth Bailey, Mr. Othello Jenkins, Ms. Kayan Smith, and Mr. Mark Zielinowski to come to the stage to accept these posthumous degrees.
Ms. Catrice Bailey, upon the recommendation of the faculty and the approval of the Board of Trustees, I hereby grant the degree of Bachelor of Arts with a major in sociology posthumously to your mother, Elizabeth Bailey. Upon the recommendation of the faculty and approval of the Board of Trustees, I hereby grant the degree of Bachelor of Arts with a degree in religion posthumously to your father, Othello Jenkins. Is that the... Ms. Pamela McLeod, upon the recommendation of the faculty and the approval of the Board of Trustees, I hereby grant the degree of Bachelor of Science with a major in business management posthumously to your daughter, Kayan Smith. Mr. Michael Zielinowski, upon the recommendation of the faculty and the approval of the Board of Trustees, I hereby grant the degree of Bachelor of Science with a major in accounting posthumously to your son, Mark Zielinowski.
Go ahead. Will the candidates for the degree of Bachelors of Arts please rise? Mr. President, on behalf of the faculty of Bloomfield College, it is my honor to present the candidates for the degree of the Bachelor of Arts.
Upon the recommendation of the faculty and the approval of the Board of Trustees, I hereby grant the degree of Bachelor of Arts.
Bachelors of Arts graduates, please be seated. Will the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science please rise? Mr. President, on behalf of the faculty of Bloomfield College, it is my honor to present the candidates for the degree of the Bachelor of Science.
Upon the recommendation of the faculty and the approval of the Board of Trustees, I hereby grant the degree of Bachelor of Science.
Bachelor of Science graduates, please be seated.